Musikalisches Hallöchen, meine Freunde. Heute machen wir wieder LukiLooked. Und zwar mit dem Spiel der Stanley Parable. Ist gerade gratis auf Epic Games. Datum wird eingeblendet. Ich weiß gerade nicht, aber let's go. Wir steigern uns in das Abenteuer. Nicht wundern, dass ich nach links gucke. Mein Bildschirm ist links. Ei. Guck immer auf den zweiten Bildschirm, ne? The end is never, the end is never, the end is loading. Load schneller. Ich will spielen. Ich will spielen. Sesam, öffne dich. So.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, wir sind...
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me.
Da fehlt was.
In here I can be happy forever.
Das ist zu viel.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
Du kannst nicht springen. Okay, wir sind ein Büroarbeiter, haben jahrelang das Gleiche getan. Zwar Tasten gedrückt auf dem Computer. Jetzt.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
Warum? Hat mich das Spiel gerade outplayed?
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday,
Muss ich instant losgehen?
Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Wir gehen jetzt mal instant los. Vielleicht komme ich raus. Das ist... What the fuck? Geh raus. Ah, scheiß Tür.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ich klicke jetzt mal alles an. Input received. Mach noch mal was. Okay. Easy. Freiheitenmande. Nein.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be. Ah, no, apparently not. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Gehen wir durch die linke, ne? Wie er sagt. Ich glaube, alle Türen zu öffnen.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hoch.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wir befolgen mal die Anweisungen, ne? Hello?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Wieso kommt da manchmal ein weißer Zeiger?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alter. Mama! 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 Hilfe! Ey, das Hab ich verkackt? Hab ich verkackt? Das Game ist geil. Muss ich zugeben, ne? Ich feiere das gerade irgendwie. Ich muss Anweisungen befolgen.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Stanley
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Wieso hat man sowas in seinem Gebäude?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
War nicht einer gefeuert?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh mein Gott, was geht denn jetzt ab? Ich hab Angst!
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Alter!
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Jetzt.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's
Alles drücken. Einfach alles
you wanted
drücken.
to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy
Mama.
it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown.
Kann doch nichts wahr sein,
Will you
oder?
cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Tot? Hallo? Lebe ich noch? Die Kamera ist unscharf. Kamera ist unscharf. Fokus. Hallo. Fokus? Wir versuchen jetzt noch einen Try,
When
okay?
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Einen Try machen wir noch.
Yet
Laufen wir
there
jetzt
was
durch,
not a
bis in den
single person
Raum.
here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
skippen jetzt die ganze
upstairs to his
Szene.
boss's office.
Gehen einfach durch.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly
Rushen
as
da jetzt
possible.
durch, so
He
richtiger
didn't
Speedrun.
even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Nur weil ich zu schnell alles gemacht habe.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward
fuck?
into the opened passageway.
Rushen da jetzt nochmal durch. Einfach nur, weil wir wissen wollen, was jetzt wirklich das Richtige ist. Wir müssen die Konsole abschalten. Wieso habe ich die eigentlich eingeschalten? Einfach weil ich weiß nicht.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Machen wir es jetzt
Mind
nochmal.
Control Facility.
Wir müssen das machen, was er sagt, ne? Ich lasse es euch
The
einfach
lights
im
rose
Video,
on an enormous room packed
Einfach,
with television screens.
dass ihr einen schnellen
What
Speedrun
horrible
habt.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did
Komm.
he have the strength to find out?
Und weil es mich interessiert, was er sagt und ich wirklich zu schnell bin.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building,
Jetzt kommt er.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals.
Sorry, dass
reduced
meine
to
Kamera
images
unscharf war.
on a screen.
Lol.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Aus.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Bin ich tot?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Wenn ihr wissen wollt, wie es weitergeht, downloadet euch das Game, es ist gerade gratis. Ich hoffe, ich habe bis jetzt eure Interesse geweckt. Also holt das Game. Es ist ein Rätselgame. Naja, macht das, was der Ansager sagt. Wenn ihr falsch seid, müsst ihr von neu anfangen. Also, ihr wisst jetzt schon mal den Anfang bis hierhin. Da. Also, zockt bis dahin. Ihr könnt in die Kommentare schreiben, wenn ihr das Game schon gezockt habt oder weiter seid als ich. Ihr könnt auch alles reinschreiben. Tipps und Tricks sind immer gewagt. Und wenn ich das Game weiter zocken soll, schreibt in die Kommentare. Na dann wünsche ich euch einen schönen Tag. Ciao, ciao!